Hoosier hello to all you folks back at home. Thanks for listening to Across the Bricks. It's
Race Week!
Let's go! We've been waiting for it. My name's Wade Knapp. I'm here with my co-host Aiden Varnkamp. How are you, Aiden?
Great. Race Week. We're excited. We're having Indycar back for the first time in 6 months. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
a long
nuts.
time.
It doesn't even feel real saying it just because of how long the offseason is. Like half a year is ridiculous. Anyways, but we're back, and it's going to be our first season covering it with the podcast, so it's really exciting.
I'm quite excited, dude. We've got a lot of big news to talk about this week, both for us and for IndyCar and motorsports as a whole. And obviously with St. Pete coming up this week, and we'll jump into a St. Pete preview and some predictions, and some other big news that we've got here on the podcast, and just some things you can expect from us for the season. So really excited to jump into it. Excited that you're here, Jordan, joining us on the first race preview episode we're going to have. We planned it to be the first of many.
Yes.
And hopefully for many years to come.
First of 18 this year. Actually, well, I guess 17 because Milwaukee's a doubleheader. So,
we'll talk about
we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah. All right.
Well, I'm very excited, and thanks for joining us. But Aiden, first news that's great for all of the motorsports world. Speed
is back. Let's go.
Speed Network on Fox Sports is back. Shout out to Kevin Harvick, Will Buxton. Shout out to Eric Shanks for making that happen.
Yes.
He was talking about this idea back right outside
when
this
he was
podcast,
here visiting us
right
back in
behind
October.
Aiden right there. You can see those chairs. We were talking to him Eric Shanks is an IU media grad, so he came and gave us a talk. And Aiden, he was kind enough to talk to Aiden and I afterwards. And we just kind of brought up some questions about IndyCar and what he's doing there. And he was like, I think I need to get Buxton and Kevin Harvick to do a show together.
Yeah.
Little did we know the things that were going to be in place. So it is so good to see Speed back.
Yes, it is. And I watched the first episode last night. It was really good. Have you seen the highlights at all? Or
I've seen clips, and I listened today to the first, I want to say 20 minutes-ish. I haven't been able to get to the whole thing, but it's amazing. First of all, they're both great broadcasters. And
great personalities, too, and just very knowledgeable people about motorsports, which obviously helps. It's really something for everybody, that show. It covers literally all the big forms of racing, which is really nice. And, especially the three big ones in America, which are, IndyCar, NASCAR, F1. So,
really cool. The way it was set to me kind of resembled less of a nowadays podcast, kind of a conversational thing like we have going here, but more of an old days talk TV show.
Yeah.
So to me,
they have people, commenting in with, they had videos of people at Daytona asking things. And it's pretty cool.
To me, that this feels like they're kind of doing this as a trial run on YouTube to see if they can put it on FS1 weekly or something like that and kind of make it more of a TV special.
Right.
It seems like they're, I don't know Buxton. I think he still lives in England. It looks like they're having him come to Charlotte weekly, which is probably sucks for him, but I love it.
He's gonna have to move here. I'm sorry.
I love the dedication, and the way he's jumping full head into American motorsports with IndyCar. I think he just needs to make the move.
Yeah.
And he's got a family, but
he's clearly fully committed to it.
But I love it, dude, and I'm so happy Speed's back. It's so good for the world of motorsports.
It is.
They were going through and they were talking about MotoGP.
I know.
That's something I did not expect from
really
American
cool.
motorsports.
Yeah, that's something I've tried to get into more as well because I grew up on NASCAR, obviously, and then as the Drive to Survive era, I guess, came. I got into open wheel racing. It's 2021, and then last year I kind of looked into MotoGP more. My guy Marco Bezzecchi, rooting for you, and Mark Marquez. Don't call me a glory hunter though. But I like Ducati. I like the red cars and bikes. But yeah, it's been fun to get into that. So I'm glad that they're talking about it because they're trying to grow their American audience as well. So more attention on motorcycle racing is always a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I think from my knowledge, MotoGP is the only larger motorcycle racing out there.
There's some other ones, but they're more regional. There's World Sports Bike competition. I can't remember what it's called.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's still good to cover. It's still motorsports.
Yeah.
It's obviously a little different.
Right.
And very racing, just the way they race is quite different. Yeah. But I find it still interesting. I'm not gonna say I keep up with it. Yeah. I'm not gonna say
honestly, here this is what it is. It functions the exact same way as F1, just it's on bikes. The presentation's exactly the same. It's just bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Yeah.
And awesome. And I kind of want to see. This is an interesting topic. I kind of want to see one of those guys jump to a car. Do you think they have the same level of motorsport driving talent in a car as they would on a bike, or is it that different?
Yeah, Valentino Rossi jumped into an F1 car multiple times actually. Yeah, jumped into Schumacher's Ferrari and Hamilton's 2017 Mercedes, and he didn't have any problems. He was fast, and vice versa. Hamilton rode on his Yamaha bike one time, and he went well. It went well. So
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. The worlds can definitely collide. I don't know. I think we should see a sweet swap like that. And we were talking about that a few weeks ago with the whole Connor Zilic trying an IndyCar thing.
Yeah.
So.
And they were talking about that on Speed.
Yeah.
They
F1
really,
did not steal Connor Zilic from us.
No, they were really bringing up, and I saw you commented on it. We started our first big announcement. We started a Twitter and X.
Nice. Yeah.
Which will be, please follow that. And if you'd like, we're going to be giving, when we're at the racetrack and doing our media stuff, we'll be giving live updates, things we notice, comments and ideas we have. Hopefully just starting some motorsport discourse and some conversations. And, just anything we can to get people talking about motorsports, because that's what we're here for, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. So it's really exciting.
And Speed's doing the same thing. They're trying to get people to talk about motorsports. Yeah. So, and that's why we're so excited about it.
I'm so thankful for Speed because, we did not get to grow up with it because it ended in, I think, like August of 2013. So we were like 6 years old. You know, like we weren't watching that. That was before I even got into NASCAR, so this was way back. And like, I've always seen like highlights and clips of like Jimmy Spencer smoking a cigar and stuff on Speed.
I didn't really know about it until when Buxton came back to IndyCar. They did like a welcome back to IndyCar video.
Yeah.
And I knew who Will Buxton was from Drive to Survive and his work in F1. And I always thought he was an amazing broadcaster because he is.
Yes.
And just from his time and work in F1 and across motorsports. But when they made that video, they made a bunch of videos of, I was like, oh, he's presented IndyCar before? I didn't know this. And then it showed up on, like, it used to be on Speed.
Yeah.
And back when Fox had the rights, way back when. Right. Probably for us, that's way back when, at least. Yeah. So, like, I love that they're bringing that back. It's so amazing. I can't rave about it enough. And I can't thank Fox enough. Dude, they are jumping full ship, full body into the water for motorsports right now.
Yes, they are. They're fully committed.
I love it. Yeah. I love it so much.
We need that. And especially since IndyCar is the one that they're committed to the most, is great. Yeah. Could not ask for a better partner in broadcasting. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Fox Sports. Thank you, Eric Shanks. Thank you, everyone involved. Can't thank any of them enough just for what they're doing for the sport. I think in terms of a individual broadcast channel company, they're doing the most for motorsports that we've seen in a long time. And I love that. Yeah. And they're not afraid to talk about things. Like, they're not afraid to talk about F1 because they don't have the rights for it. They jump into all topics, and they haven't shied away from anything. And I love that. I love that they're taking risks like that and realizing no one cares about these little rivalries between companies and rights. We just want to talk about motorsports all around. And I think they have the right people doing it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of fans. I think Speed is perfect for people who watch all forms of motorsports, which is me and partially you. I think you're getting more into it. Yeah. Like, yeah. There is definitely an audience out there, and it also helps get people interested in sports maybe they wouldn't be interested in. So it's great for everyone, and I'm excited. All right, we have our first podcast breaking news. We are getting the James Coker on our show next Tuesday. So,
well, next Friday for you guys. Next Friday for you guys. Yeah. But we'll be recording next Tuesday. James Coker, IndyCar employee, IndyCar podcast host, all around motorsports, social media content creator, SoFi employee, former actor,
Spectrum ambassador,
the James Coker. Yes. There is no label you can put this man under.
No.
He's done so much for IndyCar and the world of motorsports. Yep. And I'm proud to say that we are able to have him on our show. Yeah. And he's happy to come talk to us. Like, there wasn't really a lot of, we kind of just asked. We
responded within like half an hour of me reaching out.
We sent out a shot in the dark. We were like, well, we're early in the show, but let's see if he's happy to come join us.
We hadn't even recorded our 5th episode yet. We were 4 episodes in. He said, yeah. So without even second guessing or like even doing any research on us, like just said, yeah.
Awesome. I don't even think he follows us.
He doesn't follow us.
We asked, you want to come on and talk motorsports? And I believe his response was, I'd love to. When do you record?
Yes, that was his response.
And I love that. That shows me so much about his personality and who he is. Yeah. And I am so excited. I've been doing a lot of listening to podcasts he was on. I don't want to say research about him. It sounds stockish, but just kind of preparing for the episode. Yeah. And he seems like such a cool human being.
It's good to know who your guest is.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's such a cool human being, obviously. And I'm so excited to just have a conversation with him, let alone have him on the podcast. So
this can be great.
Please tune in next week because that'll be by far the most interesting thing we've done on this podcast yet. I know you like to come here and listen to Aiden and I just talk back and forth about anything that's happening in motorsports. And although we think our ideas are the best in the world, in reality, they probably aren't going to change anything, at least not yet. So,
not yet. We'll get power eventually. That's further down the line.
But what you listen to next week is a guy who does have just a little bit of a say in some stuff.
Yes.
So at least it appears he's heading that way. He's far ahead of where we are and head close to where we're trying to be. Although he does still have it's still a part-time job for him.
Yeah.
Which this isn't a job for us. This is a hobby.
Yet. But but this is what we want for our job to be.
Yeah.
So we're working up to it, but we're young and we have a good future. So
I love it.
Yeah.
But no, please tune in next week and let's give James Coker the love and respect he deserves for just happily coming on here and talking motorsports.
Yes.
And I love that so much.
We have a great episode lined up, so tune in.
Aiden and I got a nice comment on one of our Instagram posts we posted the other day, just talking a podcast clip talking about the identity of IndyCar and where it should go. And we got a nice comment asking us a question. What is that question, Aiden?
So Josh Stu said, I think they also need to establish one additional race to serve as a major where they award the Vanderbilt Cup to the winner along with a larger purse, etc. So, to show the heritage of IndyCar racing. That was the comment. So I think, he's totally right. And I started thinking, and I talked to Wade about this the other day, Long Beach is the race that should be that, right?
Yeah.
It has an extensive history in our sport. It's already seen as like a major, amongst the teams and drivers. It's just not advertised that way. So why not advertise it that way? It will not hurt. Increase the prize pool, maybe make like a bigger like podium celebration, give it a bigger trophy. And also, I think maybe move it to be the season finale, like in 2021. That was really cool, and they could totally do it again, and it works as a season finale really well. What do you think?
There's a few ways to go about this. I think Long Beach is 100% the answer.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier this week, and I'm going to drop another Rossi quote from his podcast, because if you can't tell, I listen to their podcast weekly. Shout out Off Track with Hinch and Rossi.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the ECR hat does not give
No, not at all. No. I've not been a Rossi fan since like 2016. That's no. It would never be me. But I can't reference the exact episode because it's probably 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
But they were doing a Q&A, and someone asked him, like, what's the race after the 500 that you want to win the most? And he brought up Long Beach for two reasons for himself. One, it's his home race. He's from Northern California. But two, he mentioned that almost every driver you're going to talk to, the race that they want to win after the 500 is either their home race or Long Beach.
Yeah. Because
of the long standing of it. It's been in IndyCar since I'm not even going to try to give a date. It's been so long. And it used to be a Formula One Grand Prix. Like that track has so much history.
Yeah.
The fountain turn, as weird and janky as it is,
it's
so
one of the
famous.
most iconic corners in racing.
100%. And that track is amazing, and they've done a really good job of keeping up that event, keeping up that track. It's it's pretty bumpy, but it's a street course. That's how it should be. And they do a really good job of keeping up. The stadium super trucks are there. Fans love those things. Jumping on the streets of Long Beach is so interesting, and I think it's a great idea. I think moving it to the finale is gonna be difficult. I believe what you're thinking of in 2021 was St. Pete. That was not Long Beach, at least as I remember. But I might be wrong too. But either way,
no. But Long Beach is where
was it actually?
Yeah, because Herta won Long Beach and Palou won the championship.
You might be right.
I think it was.
Maybe St. Pete was 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, that might be right. Either way, it's hard to move a straight course.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something I have to look into. I also don't think Long Beach would be that interesting of a season finale.
Maybe not. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, overtaking's tough. Also, they already have the doubleheader with IMSA. That might be hard to rearrange. So maybe you could have it as like a mid-season major.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, maybe for the end of the season, I don't know. What do you want the season finale to be? I mean, that's a tough
I think
question.
Nashville's perfect.
I think it is too. But obviously, it's not this year. It's going to be Seika. But I don't think
that's
Seika's
for
good.
Other circumstances we've talked about.
But then, how do you really give Nashville prestige? Because it has no history. That's the problem.
I think there's a few ways to go about this. One, I think Long Beach should be dead middle of the season. Because when you look at NASCAR, for example, they've start the year with the Daytona 500, which is a big prestigious race, which IndyCar doesn't have that. The 500 will never move, and it should never move. It should always be a Memorial Day weekend. And that's just honor the troops, everything. It should never move. But that's earlier in the season, right? And then putting putting Long Beach in the middle of the season kind of splits it up into like think about the IndyCar fans that only watch the majors, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of me with NASCAR for a long
Yeah.
time.
So you watch the 500, the Daytona 500, the
Talladega.
Coke 600, Talladega. Okay.
Yeah.
Because like the crown jewels of NASCAR are the Daytona 500, Coke 600, Southern 500, Brickyard 400.
Yeah.
And
I
then
also watch
guess
the Brickyard.
The championship race is like the 5th big race.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I think that if you put Long Beach in the middle of the season, it kind of splits up the season a little bit more for those casual fans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot more races around that if they want to bring it in. I also like the idea if we're going to do say 3 crown jewel races, I like one being an oval, one being a street course, and one being a road course. And I think in terms of road courses, there's a lot of, you can't just say this is a crown jewel race now. It has to have history behind it, and the drivers have to make that a thing. The 500 wouldn't be the 500 if the second place driver didn't cry on their stand every year because they were that close, right?
No.
And I don't know if we can force that on Long Beach, and it's never going to be the same.
Well, no, it's never going to be the same. And that's the thing. Like even with the other NASCAR crown jewels, like they're more prestigious, but they're not more emotional. Like losing the Daytona 500 is always going to feel worse than losing any of the other 3 I mentioned.
Exactly.
Except maybe the championship race, but that's different. Like, yeah. So, I mean, Long Beach is never going to live up to the Indy 500, but it doesn't have to. It just has to matter more than the other races.
And I think it does as of now. And if we're talking about a third that we might add, because I think the second, the original idea that was brought up by Jay Stu was adding a second major.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we answered that with
3 majors.
There already is one, and it is Long Beach to the drivers and to the teams. It's just not promoted that way.
Yeah.
So let's promote it that way. And I challenge Fox to do that.
Yeah.
And I know they did a little bit last year, but there's a way to. Sometimes you can't just indirectly promote something.
Right.
You have to be like, get interviews from the drivers. This is the second most important race on the calendar to everybody, and it should be treated that way.
Yeah.
And then we can look at adding a third. But I think we need to promote Long Beach that way this year.
Yeah, if you have commercials like showing the history and like its progression over time, like that would really help, I think, in like saying like, I don't know, I'll think more about it.
A nice feature package would be nice at least.
Yeah,
like in the pre-race show, a 3-minute long feature package that Fox is so good at making those with one of their 7 amazing famous commentators commentating it and get it from the beginning to the end of just like where it started. Find old clips. Find F1 clips.
Right.
Show the history of the track. And now IndyCar, obviously IMSA goes there, but IndyCar is the only like major, at least open wheel sporting series or motorsport series that goes there anymore. So like now it's IndyCar's track.
Yeah.
And the importance of that. Like there's 100% a way to show that and emphasize it and make it a major.
All right. So as you know, this is race week for St. Petersburg. So let's look at it. We got 100 laps around the street circuit.
Is it down to 100 laps?
What was last year?
Okay. Hopefully it's still the same. Because it was 120 for a while, then it was 110 for a while, and everyone hated it.
Yeah.
Because it was just too long. 100's perfect. I'm glad it's back.
Yeah. So 100 laps around St. Pete. What should we expect? Maybe some first lap chaos. There has been the last few years, 2025, there's a wreck on the first lap. 2023, there's a wreck on the first lap. Hopefully not this year, but if there is,
We're going every other.
Yeah. So winners in past years. So, last year, Alex Palou won. Not from pole, though. Then the year before, Newgarden won but got disqualified, which meant that Pato Award won.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about that.
That was the first of the Penske cheating scandals.
That was 2 years in a row that there was a Penske cheating scandal.
It was the same year.
Oh, was it actually the same year?
Wait.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was last year.
Right. Yeah, because it was the push-to-pass controversy in St. Pete.
Who's putting bets on that there will be a Penske cheating scandal this year?
No, I think they're clean now.
They should have it figured out by now, you would think.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was the Indy controversy last year. I was just confused because it was for what they did in 2024. That's why I just thought.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Alex Palou won last year. Joseph Newgarden or Pato Award won the year before that. Who won 2023?
Marcus Ericsson, I believe.
Yes, because Pato. Pato
had an engine clip right on like the second to last lap or something, and Ericsson got through.
And that was Ericsson's last win in the series.
It was.
Well, I say that like he can't win another one, but his last win up to
most
this
recent
moment.
win.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Dude, so what do we expect from St. Pete this year? Like, what are we? Let's talk about. We don't even have to talk about certain drivers or teams as a
Yeah.
series. What are our expectations for the first race of
Right.
2026 and a big development year for IndyCar?
Yeah. I think hopefully we can have a good race. Like the quality of racing really has to be good, to kick off the season properly. Should be a dry race. It would be fun if there was rain though at St. Pete. Could you imagine that? I think we're probably going to see the same like teams win. Like it's probably going to be CGR, Penske, Andretti. But I think we might see ECR climb up there and look good. But yet again, this is probably not a track that they'd typically be good at. So it's hard to say that. But they have clearly made improvements over the offseason. And on speed last night, Will Buxton mentioned that. They're making a lot of progress. So competition standpoint, yeah, probably the same big three. Oh, and McLaren, obviously. It's a big four. What else is changing, really? I mean, we still got the hybrid, the same car. So, it shouldn't be too different from last year's race.
Yeah, there's a few things I want to see.
Probably fuel
One,
strategy.
with Fox being in their second year, I want their broadcast to St. Pete. Obviously, last year's St. Pete broadcast was a little, I won't say sketchy, but they're just getting
It was
in the
their
room.
first race.
Exactly.
I think, yeah.
We can I gave them a pass for all of last year.
That is an exciting thing to see. What is the broadcast going to look like this year?
Now
we have no idea. Are the graphics going to change at all? Or is the style going to change? What's going to change?
I'm not going to tell you that I know any specific details
Yeah.
from my time of working with Fox. I didn't hear any specifics or whatnot, but I do know that, for example, last year the director Mitch, who's been awesome, really kind human being, he is an Oscar-winning director, Emmy-winning, one of the 7 different award shows. Yeah. He's won some awards for his directing. He's an amazing director, but he's never directed motorsports until last year, which directing in its own right is similar, but motorsports is different.
It's different.
Because of how large the track is. You're not directing the same scene the entire time. There's so many different places.
Yeah.
And you could see, in my opinion, just as someone who pays attention to the broadcast that way and knows a lot more about broadcasting than the average person, you can see the improvement in the directing throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
Just because he was getting used to it. And by the end of the year, it was going pretty smoothly, right? And one of the biggest things I heard Hinch talk about, I believe on his podcast, was that you're going back, last year, the director, right, they were basically he was just using NBC's camera locations because he had never been to any of these tracks. He didn't have a lot of time to scout.
Yeah.
So he was just trusting what NBC did as a first-year thing. This year, he can go back with notes he had from last year, I wish I had a camera in this location, or I wish I had something here. And he can go put something there and then use that, right? So I'm excited to see what his brain could cook up and what his crew could cook up in terms of exciting shots, locations, and how he's going to use that, and just how much more fluid the broadcast is going to be.
It's going to be fun.
Right? Buxton's in his second year in IndyCar, and so is, their stats guy, Bulls. He's awesome. A lot of guys are, they switched over from the NASCAR crew or F1, Buxton. They kind of were, I don't want to say an island of misfit toys last year, but it was their first year together.
Yeah.
Now they're the team hasn't changed that much from everyone I know, at least in terms of the on-air personalities. It hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
And the directing crew is pretty much the same. So I'm really excited to see what they can do and how they creatively make this a better broadcast race after race. And especially in the second year. They had an entire offseason to think about it and come up with new ideas.
6 whole months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they can do from the broadcast side. And on the IndyCar side, I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Right? Last year was a weird year for IndyCar because of the dominance of Palou.
Right.
And I think I don't want to say we all expect the same, but we all would.
It's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
It's really hard not to.
And it's really hard not to predict the same. I know I have Palou on my fantasy team, even though he's $30 million, which is, you get a $100 million budget, so it's almost a third of your team.
I had to get him too.
Yeah, and there shouldn't be a single fantasy IndyCar team out there without him.
Pass up on him. Yeah,
exactly. But I'm excited to see what IndyCar can do from a entertainment standpoint. Right, last year it was a very entertaining rest of 2 through 25 or 27 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see, ECR, a lot of these teams. Dale Coyne has a partnership with Andretti.
Right.
ECRs seem to make significant improvements. Honda and Chevy have signed new contracts, which is more incentive for them to really hone in and make good engines and produce the future.
Yeah.
And make IndyCar. Honda didn't have a lot to. What's the right word? Honda didn't have a lot to really work on because they didn't know if they were going to be here in a year or two. But now they do.
Right.
There's a lot of incentives.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word I was looking for everyone to do well.
Yeah.
And really push this to be the best motorsport series in the world. And I don't want to say compete with F1 because they definitely can both live in harmony.
Yeah.
But
they're not there yet.
But push a competitor to F1.
Yeah.
Or push a competitor to NASCAR first.
Well, yeah. I mean, NASCAR's in a whole other league,
Yeah.
Because, it's not the same kind of racing.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
100%.
But
in terms of viewership. Though,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I don't think they're going to get there yet, but they can definitely get there in the future. They just have to. There's a lot they have to do, but they can get there.
All right, Aiden, let me ask you one question. What is one driver specifically, non-Alex Palou?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to say Alex Palou.
Okay.
That you're really looking forward to see drive around St. Pete? Whether that's you think he's going to make a lot of moves, you think you're excited to see what he can do in a new team. What's one guy you got your eye on?
Will Power.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good at street circuits. He's with Andretti, who's also really good on street circuits.
Yeah.
I have high expectations, but at the same time, it's hard to expect big things when it's the first race. So, I don't know. I think he'll finish in the top 10 for sure, but I don't have him on my podium. But I think he'll do well. I'm excited to see him.
Will Power was my number one. I'm really excited to see what he can do. But my answer to that question is David Malukas.
Okay.
Part of that is because he's my favorite driver.
Yeah.
But David Malukas has never been with a team that was known for their road and street course packaging.
Yeah.
AJ Foyt and, I'm just going to throw out his time with Meyershank because even they are kind of more known. They're known for a mix of everything. Right. But AJ Foyt Racing and Dale Coyne Racing are both known for their oval packages.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to decide yet if he is truly just an oval specialist who has a lot to grow on road and street courses, or if he's just manageable and good driver on road and street courses. He just hasn't been in a car that I'm not going to say compete. He's not going for the win here, but compete for top 10s.
Yeah.
Right? And that type of thing. And Penske is that car.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Penske.
Yeah.
He can compete everywhere. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do in a Penske car.
Well, actually, we'll see. Can Penske regain their form that they lost in 2025?
That's also very true.
That's a big question. I think they were getting there at the end of 2025.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of unlucky moments last year that just made it look a lot worse than it really was. And a lot of, silly mistakes from Newgarden especially. But I expect most of those things to be cleared out, and Malukas is going to do great.
Yeah. That's in terms of a team, is Penske your team to watch for this weekend?
Andretti is?
Andretti is?
Yeah.
Why?
Their street course package. That's simply it.
Yeah.
And Kyle Kirkwood knows what to do on these tracks, and I think he's going to take pole position.
What do you think Marcus Ericsson can do?
Top 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see improvement from him this season or just on street courses?
I see overall improvement. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's hard to really expect anything, but based on how the last 2 years went. But I think he'll definitely do better than last year.
I think Ericsson has high expectations from fans a little bit, you could say, but specifically from IndyCar.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, from Andretti.
Yeah, right.
Because of the way Andretti loves to bring they did it with Kirkwood, they did it with Herta, bring their drivers that they had.
Dennis Hauger is in the wings.
Exactly.
He's there.
They love bringing their drivers in from their Andretti and Indy Lights team.
Right.
And putting them in a smaller team. AJ Foyt with Kyle Kirkwood, Dale Coyne, which is their technical partnership with Dennis Hauger.
That's huge.
And give them a year or two to develop. And then as soon as one driver starts to fall off a little bit, with Kyle Kirkwood, it was Alexander Rossi.
And then they pick up Kyle Collette instead.
But if that is Marcus Ericsson this year, if he produces a year anything like he did last year, I believe it's contract year for him.
Yeah, it is.
I don't see Marcus Ericsson in an Andretti seat next year. I see Marcus Ericsson in a JHR seat next year.
Maybe.
Or a Dale Coyne seat next year with the Andretti partnership.
That would be an interesting seat swap.
That would be very interesting. And I believe if Dennis Hauger has anything near what Kyle Kirkwood had in the AJ Foyt car a few years ago,
he'll be there knocking.
He will be there knocking. And I see a lot of potential out of Dennis Hauger. The Norwegian Nightmare is here to come. He is fast as all living hell. And he just has to be consistent. You have something to say about that?
I wouldn't call him fast as all living hell. He's fast, but he was third or fourth, maybe even fifth best in his F2 class. So that's not like
For
overhyping.
IndyCar potential.
Okay, but like
On road courses, dude.
yeah,
I believe he won all but one road course in the Indy Next schedule last year.
yeah. That's
I don't
true.
know. I see a lot of potential in Dennis Hogger.
Yeah, I think he's pretty legit. I think he's gonna have a good IndyCar career, but I wouldn't say he's as good as Kyle Kirkwood even. But we'll see.
In terms of potential?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you might be right there.
Yeah.
You might be right there. But I would also describe Kyle Kirkwood as fast as a living hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
we'll see how that goes. But no, dude, I'm so excited for St. Pete this week. All right, we're going to move into our St. Pete predictions for this weekend. Aiden and I are doing our own little predictions game where we're going to pick the pole winner, the podium, and the biggest mover. We'll post those on our Instagram account, and the results will keep tally. Along with this, we also want to mention we're going to be in an IndyCar Predictions Creator League.
Let's go.
With a bunch of other IndyCar creators, and you'll see that posted on Instagram every week. Shout out to All About Indy Racing for organizing that and for letting us join, dude.
Yeah.
I was watching that last year and very jealous I wasn't a part of it. So it's an
Now we
honor to be
are.
a part of this
It's
year.
crazy.
But for that, Aiden and I
season.
will be joining predictions. They're a bit different. They predict top 10 and pole and other things. So we'll be doing joint predictions for that. So it might look a little different than ours. But these are Aiden and I's personal predictions. So Aiden, who do you have taking pole at St. Pete?
I got Kyle Kirkwood, as I previously mentioned. I think he's in good position. Although I don't think he's going to win the race because we all know who that is. Alex Palou. Yeah. So
For my pole position, I will also be taking Kyle Kirkwood. I think Kyle Kirkwood is the fastest. I think Andretti is got the car to be fastest over a lap there, and I think Kyle Kirkwood is the best driver they have right now, and that's obvious. He proved that last year, so I love that. Who's your podium, Aiden?
all right. So Palou obviously P1, and I got Scott McLaughlin P2.
Okay.
I think he's probably the best street course driver that Penske has, and I expect him to take a step up. I expect him to be back on form, and I think he's going to start off the year with a podium. So he's going to be second place. Then P3, I'm going to have Kyle Kirkwood because I still think he'll finish on the podium.
Yeah, I love that. And I am really excited to see what Scott McLaughlin can do this year.
Yeah.
I think this is a breakout year for him type thing.
I mean, he's the leader at Penske, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what he can do. In my podium, I have Alex Palou taking the win. I think there's no explanation needed.
Yeah.
I have Kyle Kirkwood finishing second. I think he's going to have a fast weekend. I think Palou's win is inevitable, but I think Kirkwood's going to be right there at second, knocking on the door. And I'm going to go with Pato O'Ward in third. He's had good races here at St. Pete and good starts to the season, a lot in the last few years. And he's always right there in the mix. And I think he continues to get more mature when it comes to these type of racetracks. And he's not sending it in on the outside in like a random turn when he really doesn't need to be doing that. So I'm excited to see what Pato O'Ward can do this weekend. And then, honestly, my favorite thing to predict, because it's the one that's the most difficult to predict for me, who's your biggest mover, Aiden?
I got Marcus Armstrong. He's pretty solid in qualifying, but I still think like maybe if something goes wrong, I trust him to be able to get up there. And I expect a good year from him. I don't know why. I can just like feel it. I feel it.
I like that prediction a lot, and I see a lot from Marcus Armstrong this year. With my biggest mover, I'm going to go with Alexander Rossi.
Nice.
Buxton has, everyone's talked about the improvements from ECR, and yet their qualifying package was not very good last year. They had a lot of good results, but their qualifying package, especially on road and street courses, was not very competitive. And I think they've made a lot of improvements, but I don't know if they've made that many qualifying improvements. With that being said, it is a lot easier to make improvements in your race car than it is in a qualifying car, especially on a street course with dampers when you can't really test on street courses. But so I do see Alexander Rossi, who is their best road course driver, having a really good race and racing up into the top 10, maybe even top 5, somewhere in that range, maybe finishing 6th, 7th, 8th. But I don't know if he's going to have the best qualifying. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Across the Bricks. I hope you enjoy St. Pete this weekend. If you do like fantasy sports, I know fantasy football is a big thing nowadays, try Fantasy IndyCar. We got a league going for Across the Bricks on Grid Rivals. That's the official fantasy and sports betting partner of IndyCar. And I really love the game. You pick 6 drivers. You got $100 million budget cap. Thank you, Aiden. And you get to, each driver, like Alex Palou's $30 million. That's your most expensive. And it's really fun. And, please join us. We'll drop the link in our bio and our story. You'll find it somewhere. And come and join us this season. But thanks for listening to this week, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy the race.